Hello guys, my name is Patrick from Takuya Plays and I wanna hold up. And I wanna welcome you to the extra of common deck building. As you know, in common deck building I build decks with only common cards. But surprisingly, sometimes we can hit also some cheap enough in this meta uncommon cards. We can also try to use them in our common deck without giving too much money. What do I mean? Let's see which uncommons are cheap enough that we can afford them and implement in our deck. So what are the rules for some uncommons to make it into common deck building? There's actually only one. Their price cannot exceed 5,000 clins. Sounds pretty simple, right? Turns out it's not always like this. We take a closer look at All-Stars, the first clan that we actually had a chance to talk about when it comes to common cards. As far as we know, this clan is pretty versatile and you can build to any room, type 1, any room, a pretty solid deck. Well, when it comes to uncommon, are they actually in any use because of that? The truth is we have only 3 cards that managed to hold in the gap of not exceeding 5,000 clins when it comes to cost. These 3 cards are Bud, Mario, and Sigurd. Are like any of them good? Here are the rundowns. First we have Mario with 6 power and 3 damage. No ability at all, stars only 2, and the cost sadly around 3,300 clins, and his EFC league is only up to 3, so we can't use him in EFC already. When it comes to stats, in the old games it was pretty revolutionary to have a card with stats 6-3. Well, it was actually pretty big. That's why they nerfed it by not giving it any ability at all. Now it's just overpower creeped. Get it just for the collection, seriously. Don't even try to work it. Next we have Bud, which is the epitome of old school. Only 4 power, only 2 damage, and the ability damage plus 5 at 3 stars. And his cost 3,500 clins. His EFC league says it all. He's only good for dark corners. He's old as hell. It was a very old version of high risk, high reward card. Because if you blocked any of his capabilities, his bonus or ability, he was pretty much dead. Don't run this card. You have way better 3-star options. And at the end we have a card that we can actually use, which is Sigurd. Sigurd made it barely into this list because he had only one cell in the market that was under 5,000. The rest were 5,200, so he just had luck that then on the day that I checked it, he had one offer under 5,000. He has 6 power, damage 8, the ability attack plus 6, and 5 stars. In the EFC league, he's up to league 5, which means he is capable of fitting in your deck. The problem is you already have Morrigan, and even though her ability is way more defensive and here we have more of a supportive ability that boosts his attack, it's very minor and not a big of a difference. Of course somebody can say, hey, this card has actually 8 damage, which means it's way more effective, and because of the plus attack he can make easier to break these 8 damages. Sure, but it's still only 6 power, and even though we have this bonus of minus 2 power, still it's a little bit harder to run, and as you can see, he is 2.5 times more expensive than Morrigan. If you want to run it, sure, he is worth a shot, but don't get surprised if it turns out Morrigan could be for you the better option. It's a card of the typical risk and reward, so be cautious in playing it. And that's sadly all for today. We don't have any more like uncommon cards to cover here. But trust me, there will be a clan where we're gonna have plenty to talk about. It's actually probably the next clan that I'm doing, which is Bangers. So stay tuned for that, and share in the comment section, would you use any of these cards in any deck? Write it down, and remember to always stay awesome drawing your last card. See ya!